Let's see. Jake still didn't get that email, so let's try it again. Jake. And so, Lindsay, when you click on it, is it showing up anything or like pulling up anything at all? I sent one to Jake. Let me send another one. Okay. Okay, so I got Jake on. So it's, yeah, that might work. Try doing that. Okay. Okay, so Lindsay's trying to get on, and then we'll be good to go.
Using that I feel I have to be.
I know. I'm gonna try her email again, see if that worked.
So then, are you recording it right now?
Yeah. So right now it's recording.
Okay. Oh crap! Oh crap! And so my understanding of this is we're just supposed to go over the cases.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I think that's me.
Okay. Perfect. So I think this is what we're supposed to do. At least it's recording. So, and then it gets posted to YouTube.
Yes.
And then you have to copy the YouTube link to the discussion poll. And then that way you can see the discussion.
Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Let me just pull up. So the Dropbox case study.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys like that one?
I liked it. They're actually, I live here in the Bay Area in Palo Alto, and they're just like 2 cities away. They just built a huge new office.
Oh, really?
It was interesting because I've heard of it, but I didn't know like the background story. So it was cool to read. I like reading these case studies and learning about these cool businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Jake?
I have mixed feelings so far. I did like the Dropbox better than the Rent the Runway, but I mean, it's because I'm never gonna wear a dress. But
yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so let's see. I guess, do we just go through the questions or?
Yeah, I think so, and just discuss what we thought, and then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the post poll right now.
Okay.
There's 5 questions. The first one's if we attended. The second one, just kind of how we analyzed it and stuff like that if we had questions.
Okay.
The third one is how each one contributed, so we'll kind of. The fourth one's the YouTube link. And then the fifth question, whatever we personally decide or as a group decide what we want to say.
Gotcha.
Our answer or analysis or recommendation, I should say.
Right. Perfect.
So those are the 5 questions, I think, for each.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I guess we'll just start with the first question on the page, and then we'll just go down through them. So, what opportunity did Houston see? What happened? There we go. So when I read it, basically what I saw is that when he was creating Dropbox, that there wasn't really a company that there was a lot of companies that backed up your data, but there wasn't any companies that you could back up your data and access it no matter where you're from. It just was, you had to be on the same computer in order to access that same information. So the opportunity he saw was really being able to access any files that he wanted, no matter where he was.
Yeah, totally. I thought it was a cool concept, especially how he thought of it. You know, he was at the bus stop ready to go on this, longer travel to wherever he was going, and he forgot his USB drive, couldn't work, and he's like, well, I'm going to fix that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Pretty
so
cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Something he mentioned too is that it was such a simple design. It amazes me that no one prior had come out with that.
I know.
As stupid as that sounds.
Well, I mean, but if you look at
so
a
many
lot,
people probably haven't thought.
yeah, I mean, if you look at a lot of things, you just like, how did someone not think of, Google Hangouts until they created it, But
Exactly, and I bet you the thoughts have always been there, but it's more of the I'm too scared to do it. But Houston actually kind of grew up here and did it.
Right.
He went all in hoping it would work out.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And so, and that's, just from like the Dr. John Proctor's products, and then these two, it's a lot. I've seen a lot of, as entrepreneurs, they find a problem and then they solve it. A lot of people find a problem, but then they just kind of accept that it's a problem and they don't present a solution to it.
Right.
So, so that answered that. So what are the key elements of Dropbox's current business model? What do you guys think?
I think the low cost of how much data you're able to store on the cloud is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it allows for, like if I were to upload photos and my family were to use them, or if I was in some sort of business setting and I wanted to, like my husband's work, they actually use Dropbox to send secure documents back and forth for people to sign or read without like having to use a courier service or something. Like it saves you tons of money that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think, Jake?
Not only that, but I think I'm looking for what I wrote down really quick. This is one I kind of jumbled up this morning and put together in one giant paragraph, which was my bad. Along the same lines, in a legal perspective, like what Lindsay was saying, they could go back and forth without worrying about loss of documents or getting them signed if they're far away. But what I think, let's see, where is it? What I liked about it, and it was kind of subtly put in there from what I found, but it bypassed the permissions, it bypassed everything to where there's no strings attached.
Right.
Where if you're gonna pay, you're done. You got it. You got what you want. Or there's the free version. So they didn't really opinion. They're gonna be ahead of the market here in a couple of years by far.
Yeah.
By plus, because they, like you said in the low tech, they hit the low tech and they hit it right in the right spot of what they needed.
Yeah. The thing I like about Dropbox, and like from what I've used with it, or the way I've used it is, when I was executive secretary in my ward up here, we actually used Dropbox. So it was just, and I think this plays into their business model, is that it's a very low cost solution to stay connected. Before Dropbox, you could upload a folder, but you couldn't edit it, you couldn't do anything and then have people see it. But with Dropbox, you can upload something and then, someone else can change it and then you can see those changes right as they made it, So I think that's, just kind of hitting on your points is that it's a very low cost solution to connecting the world.
Yeah.
It's a low cost, but a fast and fluent service that everyone needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like it's like that example they used in the case study about Microsoft Word. Like you can have someone's mom typing up a recipe to a lawyer drafting a 40-page document, like you guys are just saying,
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, perfect. Okay, let's see here. Okay, is Dropbox profitable as of June 2010? Let's see. That one I didn't get to, unfortunately, to answering. But what did you guys come up with?
Just from the exhibit and from how well they're doing, I would just assume yes. I haven't done any calculations. Do we need to do calculations, do you think, for these studies?
I don't think you have to. So I did some of them.
Did
you? They referred to, who was it, Carbonite?
Yeah.
So Carbonite came out at a loss of 2.1 million, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Dropbox at that time, being a startup industry, their numbers were above the competitors.
Right.
And so they were seeing a better turnout, even though they were smaller. And I don't know the exact numbers of what the revenue was, but they were coming out on top from my understanding of it.
And did you figure that out from the exhibit, or how'd you figure that out?
I used, which was it B?
Oh, okay.
I wrote it
get better at
somewhere.
that.
Yeah, and there was a video.
Exhibit A, yeah.
Yeah, so it's exhibit. Let's see. So you used exhibit A.
I typed the wrong one. I could have typed the wrong one down. I'm not trusting my typing here.
Yeah, so we at least, I would assume that they're profitable. Looking at them today, and the expansion that they're looking at, you have to be profitable in order to expand. If you have a product that doesn't work, you're not going to expand that product and make it better until you perfect it on phase one. So, without doing any calculations, I wouldn't be surprised if it's profitable. I would be surprised if it's not profitable, I should say.
So in the 2010 statistics, this is kind of what I got.
Mm-hmm.
They had 4 million users with a 2.5% charge rate or pay rate. So they paid for every 1.05 gigs or something like that. They were charging $1.30 per user. That's what they came to cost as. So if you're paying $10 a month, their revenue came just under $12 million.
Just under 12 million.
And then after the costs and everything being taken out, they made a profit of about $6 million.
There you go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Can't complain with the numbers.
Seriously.
Sorry, I'm trying to break this apart as I go to where my paragraphs should start and end.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, so we got that. So it's profitable. When Houston, applied to Y Combinator, what hypothesis did Houston hold about key elements of Dropbox business model?
That it was easy, right? That it was easy to use,
Yeah, his whole thing is accessibility.
Right.
It's just that, you can use Dropbox if you're in Hong Kong. You can use Dropbox if you're here in Rexburg, or, you can use whatever. So just accessibility and low cost, that's pretty much his business model, and his hypothesis is that people would use it because of its accessibility.
Yeah. Ease of use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else did he say? It says, which hypotheses did he confirm and which ones did he discard?
I think the one that he discarded was maybe partnering with a bigger corporation. I mean, I know he's kind of going back to that towards the end of the case study.
Mm-hmm.
But he saw, he saw, like with big corporations, you're always given the middlemen. You're not given the ones that make the decisions. And he saw, it's a waste of time and energy and everything like that, right?
Right.
That. So I think that was started. Hopefully, I don't know. I think they should stay independent, and not link up, because I feel like once you get linked up, like that example said of Microsoft trumping Netscape, and like you don't hear of Netscape anymore at all,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like it's definitely. I definitely have the same feelings, and I had the same feelings. I felt like, just going back to last week's, is I felt Dr. John's product should license, just because there was about 8% of the market that wasn't unaccounted for. And so that basically was Dr. John's products, but they wanted to get to about 15%. And so by licensing to Crest, they would get access to an additional 8% market share, but they didn't have to, follow Crest's rules or anything like that. They just licensed their product to it. And so same with this situation is that, they have something so good that if you get a big corporation, they'll just manipulate it to their needs, and it might not be what the users want. And so therefore, even though you're getting a bigger market share, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And then the next question is, did he waste time and resources or make notable mistakes? I don't think he wasted any time. It's hard, especially with entrepreneurship, it's hard to, if you make a mistake, it's hard to say that was a waste of time, because
I think the only waste he would have made is how long it took him to develop and to finally doing it, because it did call him a late mover into the business and things like that. I think that's the only waste of time, though. He learned really quickly, okay, we're going to do this instead.
So
it was all pivotal to what he needed to get to.
So you're saying that his mistake or waste of time was not necessarily when he was doing the business, but beforehand, like the time it took.
It was waiting to do it. Yeah.
Gotcha. I never even really thought of that as a possible waste of time, but it does make sense. But even though, yeah, go ahead.
The only reason I think of that is because I'm also taking B483 right now, ironically enough, and kind of weighing your cost of shares and your time.
Yep.
Is a lot of people wait or they hold back thinking for a weight of, hey, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to go in debt. When some businesses go into debt on purpose and get rid of that long-term debt. And so I think the same thing time-wise is some people get scared and they don't want to waste that time. And so they sit there forever. But if he had just jumped straight into it, there could have been more mistakes. I don't know. So it's a pro and a con, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's definitely, he probably, if he had started out earlier, he might have been in the same boat as the other big name companies where they're just offering backup services. maybe the fact that he did wait so long actually produced the idea, because he didn't have the idea until the bus stop. And then once he was on the bus stop and on the bus and forgot his USB drive, that's what got the ball rolling. So, I'm wondering if he started the business earlier, if he would just be like all the rest of the companies and he didn't have anything really proprietary to his business.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, because he was working on the BIT or whatever that company was, and it says, he wasn't passionate about it.
Right.
And as like we've all learned, because we're pretty far all, I think, in all our classes, like the biggest thing with being successful as an entrepreneur, you have to be passionate or believe in your product or business, or it's not going to excel.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he needed that time to wait, and yeah.
And then the second to last question is, can you imagine better ways to test his hypothesis?
I don't think
I didn't think of any better way to do it.
No.
So, okay. And then the last one is, what should be Houston's top priority as the case ends in 2010? Let's see here.
I don't know. I'm just all for, like I said earlier, just developing the company on its own, and just gaining more word of mouth and more customers. And I think they could become very big. I don't think they should limit themselves just to Android phones. They should just develop themselves as a company and stand on their own, and I think they could be really successful.
They need more marketing and advertisement towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely get it, though. I mean, like, especially with, like, for instance, BYU Idaho, is with iLearn 3, everything is submitted through Dropbox now.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, like, that in itself is marketing, but I do agree with both of you. I do agree that, like, I watch TV and I don't see a single commercial. I don't know if you guys seen it, but have you seen that commercial for the Google Photos?
Mm-mm.
I don't have cable, so I don't watch TV.
No, that's okay. So it's basically like Google Drives. So you have your iPhone or your Android, and when you take a picture, it saves to your phone, and then it automatically saves to Google's hard drive, their backup system that they have. But as you and let's say, for instance, your storage on your phone is all up, it automatically downloads your photos on your phone to your Google Photos app.
Oh.
So it basically frees up space on your phone. And so they were doing commercials about it. And so I think definitely more marketing on how low cost and accessible Dropbox is. I think a lot more people would start using it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Any other comments on this first one?
No, I didn't look. Did either of you look up like how they're doing or what they decided to do about the Android? I don't think they linked up with Android as far as.
I have no idea. I haven't looked.
Yeah,
it did not cross my mind today.
211's a beast. Good luck in there.
Oh, I'm hating it.
That's Capsim, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
What's funny is
I'm
taking 211, but I'm in a 483 class.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, when I took Capsim, I loved it. It's definitely hard, but I loved it. I had a good teacher and a good group, so.
I haven't really figured it out, but it's still going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Okay.
Because now I have to rely on the rest of the group, so I can't have it the way I want to go it.
Perfect.
So do we need to exit this one and create then a second video?
Yeah, I think we should.
For the second one? Okay.
Okay, so I will exit out and then start another one.
Okay.
Okay. And then will you send us the links after this, Austin?
Yes, for for sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay, hold on one second.